Have you ever looked at your super slick, maybe even super expensive website and just wondered, why isn't this thing bringing me any customers? Well, in this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on the surprising power of simple websites and why less is more might just be the secret to your success online. All right, let's get into it. So let's just get right to it with a big question. I want you to think about your business website right now. Is it a lean, mean, customer-generating machine, or has it maybe become a beautiful but ultimately very expensive roadblock? And this leads us to something I call the conversion paradox. And trust me, it's a really big deal. It's something that costs businesses, well, a ton of money. We're talking thousands, sometimes millions of dollars every single year. It's a familiar story, right? You pour your heart, your soul, and a pretty significant chunk of your budget into a website that looks like a work of art. But nothing happens. It's a ghost town. No calls, no emails, no new business. It's just crushing. And you're left sitting there wondering what on earth went wrong. This slide just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the tangled web of a complex website. It's a maze of options, the navigation is confusing, and it loads so slowly that people are hitting the back button before it even finishes. But then, on the right, simplicity. A clear message, call to action buttons you just can't miss, and it loads fast. I mean, which one would you rather use? So what's the solution? What's the secret weapon that separates the websites that actually work from the ones that are just, well, digital paperweights? It's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. Less is more. And here's the kicker, the thing you really need to get. Simple websites consistently, and I mean consistently, outperform complex ones. The data totally backs this up. In fact, studies show that just a 1-second delay in your page load time can cause a 7% drop in conversions. Think about that. That's a huge hit to your bottom line for something that seems so tiny. Okay, so I know what you're probably thinking. Why? How can something so simple possibly be better than something super flashy and packed with features? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's break it down. There are really 3 main reasons why simplicity just wins every single time. First up, clarity. It's all about being clear. Think of your website like a salesperson. A great salesperson gets straight to the point, answers your questions, and makes it really easy for you to buy. A bad salesperson? Oh man, they just talk in circles and leave you more confused than when you started. That's the difference clarity makes. And you can really see that power of clarity right here. Just imagine you land on a site and boom, everything is exactly where you expect it to be. The headlines are big and easy to read, the text gets right to the point, and that Contact Us button is practically begging you to click it. That's not just nice design, that's a clear, easy path to making a sale. But clarity is only half the battle, because even the clearest website in the world won't get you anywhere if it takes an eternity to load. And that's where our second big pillar comes into play, speed, and, crucially, the mobile experience. Look, this isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It is an absolute must. The vast majority of local searches are happening on phones right now, as we speak. So if your site is slow or clunky on a phone, you're practically invisible. You are losing customers. It's really that simple. And this is where simplicity is just so beautiful. It's naturally fast. When you don't have all those heavy graphics and complicated bits of code, your website is just lighter. It's quicker. And guess who loves that? Search engines. Google sees that speed as a huge thumbs up, a sign of great user experience, and they'll reward you for it with better rankings. All right, that brings us to our third and final pillar, focused content. The best way to think about this is like a laser beam, not a floodlight. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you focus on one thing, showing your visitors what you do best. And by really zeroing in on your core message, you get this amazing 1-2 punch. First, you give your visitors exactly what they came for, without all the extra fluff that just gets in the way. And second, you send a crystal clear signal to search engines about what you're an expert in, which, you guessed it, helps you climb up in those rankings. Okay, so we've pretty much established that simplicity wins right out of the gate. But what about down the road? What's the long-term payoff here? Well, let's get into that. You know that feeling, right? You want to post a new special offer on your site, but just the thought of logging into that complicated, clunky system is so draining that you just don't do it. A simple website gets rid of that headache. It makes it a breeze to keep your content fresh, which keeps your audience coming back and your SEO strong. All right, I can almost hear some of you thinking, okay, simplicity is nice, but does it really move the needle on something as technical and complicated as SEO? let's tackle that one head on. The answer isn't just yes, it's a huge, resounding yes. And here's why. Just think about what search engines want. Their entire job is to give people the best, most relevant experience possible. And what do people want? They want sites that are fast, that work great on their phone, and that give them the info they need without a hassle. In other words, they want simplicity. And what the user wants, the search engine reward. Okay, so now let's talk specifically to the small business owners out there. I know you're juggling a million things at once. So is a simple website just a good idea for you, or is it, absolutely essential? Yes, absolutely. In fact, for a small business, simplicity is your superpower. You can't afford to waste time or confuse potential customers. A simple website is your secret weapon to cut through all the noise, make an incredible first impression, and win that customer before they have a chance to click away. So let's bring this all home. It's really time to start thinking about your website differently. It is not just a pretty online brochure. It's a hardworking, strategic tool that's there to grow your business. And its real job? It's much simpler than you think. The source material we're looking at today puts it perfectly. It says a simple website is more than a design choice. It's a strategy. It's a deliberate choice to put your customers first and to build a website that works just as hard as you do. So I'm going to leave you with this one simple challenge. Go look at your website and ask yourself this question and be really honest. What is this website's one clear purpose? Once you have the answer to that, you'll have the key to unlocking the incredible power of simplicity.